Charlene Maines, and I am the founder and trustee of a brand new UK registered unemployment charity called Choices for You. Well, the charity actually came back in 2017, the idea came, but it was my personal experiences that kind of led me to start the charity. So I left a marriage in 2010. I was about 28. I had two small children who were 2 and 4 at the time, so I was a lone parent. And I had to go onto welfare benefits for the first time. I didn't work in my marriage. We moved to a different country, to Germany, because of the armed forces. So my previous job actually was in childcare. And I knew that once I left as well, I didn't want to go back to the childcare industry. So what I did was once I decided to leave, I sought some help from Stop Domestic Abuse charity, and I spent a couple of years regaining my value and kind of building up my confidence, really, to then focus on what I needed to do. Also, I needed to wait until both children were at full-time school, and yeah, so it just went from there, really. I mean, I didn't have a clue on how to use a computer properly. So I knew that I didn't want to go back into childcare, but I wanted to get into business. But I just didn't know where to start. So I went from being unemployed for 5 years to managing 120 people across Hampshire, Dorset and the Isle of Wight for the Prince's Trust. It was a paid role and it was an amazing experience. I got to go to Buckingham Palace, and now I deliver a talk about my life experience, and it's called From Benefits to Buckingham Palace. And it was lovely to stand in the garden and eat fresh bread, and it wasn't like Hovis, I can tell you that. And I wanted to develop and design a charity that was for the unemployed, designed by the unemployed, because many times I went on unemployment courses, I was made to feel a bit stupid, like I didn't know what I was doing, and I wanted to create some programs where people had the choice. I didn't want to influence people. I share my story, and the only reason why I share is I don't want the congratulations. I don't want no, wow, you're incredible. I want that story out there so people can take what they want from it. And they normally do, actually, and they say, right, I can relate to that part. How did you manage to move on from that? Then you can tell them what you did, but also make it clear that whatever worked for me may not work for them. So it's about getting them to think freely for themselves. I didn't think freely for myself. That was because I didn't have any confidence to do that. Now I do. My gosh, you don't ever get me to shut up now. It's kind of like, right, woo, I've got all these ideas, and it's amazing. So we wanted to create a charity that helped communities to realise their full potential, but most importantly, make sure that every single person wasn't left behind, because I was left behind, and it took me 10 years to get to where I needed to be. Now, that journey may have been planned to last 10 years, I do not know, but I wish that I had more support out there. So we're not telling people what to do, we're not giving people the answers, we're just helping them on that journey and making it a little bit easier for them. So yeah, and hopefully we can start employing people, but at the moment it is just me. I had to figure out who I was on this startup, whether I was a domestic abuse advocate, whether I was a disability advocate, whether I was a long-term unemployed advocate, a benefits advocate. So you could understand I had to figure this process out for myself. Now that I have done that, my passion is long-term unemployed. It is for the unemployed, and it's making sure that people realise their potential. Just because they're unemployed, they shouldn't be forgotten about. But also people who are past the age of 30. Now, I've got 2 wonderful teenagers who think I'm ancient, but I'm 36, and I've got many years left in me. But a lot of focus is on the young people at the moment, and I really want a level playing field where people who possibly at the moment are being made redundant from their jobs, who could be 35 plus, 45, 55, help, you know, the older they get made redundant. They're now competing against 20-year-olds. And I think there should be a level playing field, because, you know, the youngsters bring so many new innovation skills. You know, they've got new ideas, but us oldies do as well. You know, we may not be so techno, you know, up there with the youngsters, but we've got a lot of life skills, and we've got a lot of skills in the work that we have been doing. So we could work together and we can balance that out. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to create at the moment. So the next step is to go for funding, to build the trust with the funders, to show that we can spend the money responsibly, to build that trust up with the public, and then we can go for larger parts of funding where we can start employing people to deliver the programs. We can start employing local businesses to help us, say, with printing costs. So money's going back into the economy, it's going back into our local communities. And for our events, we have been doing International Women's Day events for the last 3 years. We started off in Lee Park, where my journey began. And last year in 2020, just before the pandemic hit, we expanded into Portsmouth. We're hoping to expand over the next 5 years to Halen Island, Fareham and Gosport, and hopefully wider. But you know, the aim is to get more people to share their stories, to access the support out there from different organisations, but most of all to have the confidence to speak out and to know that they're not forgotten. So it's slowly building, and I'm looking forward to the next 10 years. You know, goodness knows what that's going to bring, but yeah. So there's my story.